Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Prasiddha. I am a certified Ayurvedic educator, practitioner, and Dharmic healer. I am the founder of Ancient Soul Gardens along with my two partners and the founder of Dharmic Healer Mastery. It's been a minute since I've been on YouTube. I am very much ready to reintegrate to the YouTube community again, and by many of your guys' requests on my Instagram, my TikTok, I am back here on YouTube to make longer form content again. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for journeying with me across so many different chapters of my evolution, your evolution. I truly appreciate it more than you know. Today's video topic just came to me before I set up to film. The topic of the ego death of serving a mission greater than yourself. The death process that no one really talks about. When you're at a level of integration to your Dharma and your service that overtakes your personal needs, your personal desires, and is much larger than anything that is self-centered in you, right? So I want to share with you guys this topic because it's been really relevant in my life this month. And as I talk about this cognition and concept, which we love to do here, right? We love to chew on these spiritual cognitions and evolve together. I also want to interweave some of my personal life and updates into that, right? So some of you guys may know I have been building out a business over the last year or so with my two partners, Savannah and Lauren, who are respectively a occultist and witch and a shaman, Peruvian shaman. And we have been growing Ancient Soul Gardens together as the Hogwarts of the mystical arts, of the mystical healing arts. And I lead the Dharmic branch, right? The Dharmic chapter inside of Ancient Soul Gardens, teaching the undergrad program of Dharmic Healer Mastery, which some of you guys have heard about, and also teaching our higher level apprenticeship programs there with my partners. And being a part of this level of operation has been the greatest gift, the greatest blessing, and also the greatest expansion and death process for me, facilitator of death processes in me this past year, as my ability to be a leader, to be a boss, to show up, to be a mentor has continued to have to expand and has been called to expand exponentially, right? And this week, we were going through a lot of transition with Ancient Soul Gardens and our vision for it, and facing a lot of integration and shadows that come at building something this large, that come with building something this large, right? And we were having really difficult conversations, but beautiful conversations, centered on completion and centered on how we can be of greater service, greater integrity, greater selflessness in this path of our mission, right? In this path of our service and our dharmas. And I had the opportunity in the midst of this conversation to really be getting to represent or speak for the entity as a being, right? Because businesses, missions are living things. They aren't just a thing. They're a living entity. Even businesses have their own astrology, which a lot of people don't know, right? And it's because they're like a living, breathing thing. They take on a life of their own. And a huge lesson I've learned this past year is to listen to what your baby is asking of you, right? What does it need? How does it want to show itself to the world? How does it want to evolve? It's bigger than you, right? It's bigger than me. It's bigger than us as individuals, and it serves a greater purpose than us as individuals. And so this week I got to kind of be the advocate for the entity, right? For this being that is Ancient Soul Gardens and this beautiful mission that it upholds and wants to continue to uphold. And me being somebody who has a history, right, of childhood trauma, of becoming the easy child, the golden daughter, the peacekeeper, the people pleaser kind of a thing, right? The banes of my existence has always been conflict and upsetting people. And the fear that can freeze me from sharing my truth, right? Sharing my voice, my needs, my desires, etc., because I don't want to hurt someone, right? Because I don't want to create conflict or step on someone's toes or blah, 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 right? So I got to go even deeper in the healing process of this week, because we were having a difficult conversation, and not to get into too much of the detail, but I was in the place where nothing was personally affecting me in this conflict. I just got to see things from the bird's eye view, right? From the eagle condor perspective. And I got to voice the standards of integrity that I see, that spirit, that source has shown me to uphold in this work in the world. And I got to stand by that, even when it hurt others' feelings, even when it felt personal or like an attack when it wasn't, right? It definitely was not coming from that space, but could be perceived as such, and was a very difficult conversation to have, a conversation that takes a lot of maturity and a lot of completion. And even having to do that and exercise that, I felt such a death happen in me, a next level death, chiseling, expansion happen in me of my ego, right? The death to that part of myself that identifies with that and that fears that and that has formed an identity around that part of me, right? And I got to break through it to a new level. And how beautiful that it got to be also in the name of my mission in this world that I feel so, so, so clearly and divinely called to do. It's unquestionable to me at this point, and it's where I can truly source my Shakti from, my power from, is that it is so clear to me and I feel it's so much bigger than me, right? So this has been my experience recently of this process of the ego death that comes when your mission is bigger than you, right? It's bigger than Prasiddha, this identity, this body, this mind, this personality complex, the lowercase s self, right? But the mission is for my capital S self, the me that is pure consciousness, the me that is the Brahman, right? That is the cosmic intelligence embodied and moving through this body, this mind, these hands, right? So what a beautiful process of expansion it has been, guys. I'm in the middle of a huge life transition as well. I'm actually moving, and you probably noticed I am not in the beautiful magical treehouse anymore in Topanga. I just closed up my chapter of life there. It was one of the most beautiful chapters of my life, and I'll make another video, I think, talking more about that. But I am transitioning into a lot of change, not only with everything I just spoke on in the expansion of our work in the world, my business, my teaching, my service and offerings, but in my personal life. I am actually going to be leaving the United States again. After some years I've been growing roots here, I felt called to be here, to serve here, and now new doorways are opening and I am going to be moving to Spain, actually. I think I'll talk in more detail about that as well in a separate video, but just keeping you guys updated since we have shared so much vulnerability together over the years, and I would love to hear what you guys have been chewing on, digesting, expanding into, where you're at in your lives right now, and how I may be of service to that with the content that I create, with what I teach about, with what I share here and mentor in. So please do let me know. I would love to hear more about that and refine how I can serve, and how I can be more available for all of you. So thank you for tuning in with me, for being here as I'm in this funny limbo, but I'm only going to be in this limbo for another month and a half or so, and then I will be moving over to Spain. So I'm really excited for this chapter, and in these next few weeks I'm actually going to be back in India funny enough, because I'm visiting my brother after a year. I've been missing him so much. I'm going to see him and his wife, and my partner and my mom are coming too. So it's going to be a whole family extravaganza pilgrimage in the Himalayas. And I think I'm going to be documenting a lot of that too. I'm excited. I was just feeling called to showcase some of the experiences, the journeys, the pilgrimages that we do, because we're going to be experiencing a lot of magic and mysticism and tuning in with the home of my soul, as you guys know, which is Mother India, Bharat, and could not be more grateful to be back and actually have more time and space to freely traverse India, which I really haven't had a lot of, ironically, even though I lived there for so many years, because I was in the ashram, right? And I was full-time volunteering and very, very, very busy in ashram life. So I never really got to journey. And I've actually also never seen the Himalayas. So this is going to be my first time in the Himalayas, seeing Dehradun, which is where my family lives, seeing Rishikesh, possibly Haridwar, some other sites on the upper Ganga. So I'll be documenting that. So that's going to be coming in some videos, and let me know what stuff you might like to see of India. And please stay tuned in with me outside of YouTube. There's so much more that I have been doing, and I would love for you to stay interconnected and to be a part of that the larger community that we're building and that is already established at Ancient Soul Gardens. So please check out the links below if you'd like to join our community. We have many tiers and many options to meet you exactly where you're at. Whether you are an initial seeker who doesn't have a lot of financial resources right now, but wants to explore multi-modalities, many pathways, many lineages, you can join the Portal community, which is our extended community for all of that. I teach there multiple times a month, live classes as well, so we can interact personally too. If you're looking for deepening your dharma in the world, you are ready to serve, you are ready to step into your calling and your purpose as a healer, as a transformer, as an alchemizer in this world, and you are ready to take your studies of Hinduism, of Sanatana Dharma, yoga, Ayurveda, and Tantra specifically much deeper, applying it into your life and having one-on-one guidance and mentorship from me, you can investigate Dharmic Healer Mastery, which is my main thing that I'm doing, right, with most of my weeks. So I would love to connect with you about that. We do free discovery calls, so if you just want to hear more about what that might look like for you and how we may make it work for you financially, there are a lot of different options and tiers for that too. So I love you all so much. Thanks for listening to my updates, my musings, and again, more videos to come, so stay tuned. Take care, everybody. Thank you.